Hello, my guys. HeroInHisHead back again to deliver those hot and spicy reviews and whisper sweet nothings into your ear. Now, right off the bat, I want to take a minute to apologize for my brief absence from YouTube these last 2 weeks. Many of you do not know, but my wife is currently pregnant with twins, and we are about a month and some change away from their arrival. So my focus has been kind of split, and it's been difficult to be consistent at the current moment. But do not worry, because I have some massive plans coming up in the near future for some new video types and new reviews and way more. So, also on a positive note, we just hit our first big old milestone of 100 subs. Good job. Clap, everybody. Clap, clap, clap. Seriously, though, this is absolutely huge for me, and this is the first real step to me doing what I'm truly passionate about, which is entertaining you guys. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and I am truly excited to reach the next goal of 500. But with all that out of the way, let's get on to the videos, because she is a doozy. So the last time on HeroInHisHead, not actually, in part 1, I talked about the things I really liked about CyberPunk and the areas that the game excelled in. But we know that there's far more to the story than that. And with all that being said, the video is in fact going to be formatted a bit differently because a lot of the more serious issues were on console, and as a PC player, I never experienced them myself, and also have no footage of them. So, yeah. Enjoy, and let me know in the comments if you like the format, or if you prefer my standard review setup system thing. Alright, so let's get the obvious out in the open. Cyberpunk, regardless of platform, is a buggy, glitchy mess. Seriously, it ranges from missing textures, animation markers playing randomly or in such ways that doesn't make any sense, like a guy playing the sitting animation on top of someone else's head, NPCs clipping through each other as they walk, items meshing, getting caught in other items, people, vehicles. I mean, seriously, I can't be the only one who got my bike clipped through a breakable guardrail and rendered my vehicle totally fucking busted and undrivable because apparently weight distribution's a fucking thing. You'd think that in a game where they have seemingly added weight distribution to the vehicles, they can't code them in such a way that it doesn't fall apart when your busted models clip through each other. Which shouldn't even be happening in the first place. Then you have important NPCs or objects just randomly missing, and the only way to fix it is to reload, and that only helps some of the time. Characters T-posing in the street, weapons floating around. Shit, I accidentally became invincible a few times. Then there was that lovely time I lost 45 minutes of gameplay when I clipped through the street and was lost in the fucking Twilight Zone until I committed Sudoku to escape. Aside from that fucking debacle, you get on the consoles where the situation goes from bad to fucking nuclear. You all of a sudden have a game that crashes regularly, saves become corrupt, the entire game uninstalls itself. What? And the list goes on. Seriously, I haven't seen a release this riddled with bugs and BS since fucking Fallout 76. But that isn't even all of it. Alright, boys and girls, I'm gonna be the one to say it.
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
God damn it, Dave. Enough with the dead memes. This is serious. The game has some serious graphical issues on console for sure, and even PCs, due to the game not utilizing your GPU's full potential, which seems like a really deliberate design flaw. The LOD on the game is a fucking nightmare. Like, characters appear out of thin air, their faces and features will fade into view in real time in front of you. It's fucking gross. It looks like clay molding itself. Even the cars do it. Especially the cars do it.
Oh, that's nasty.
And the frame rate on last-gen consoles is absolutely abysmal. Seriously, the base Xbox One runs at a steady, 15 frames per second. The PS4 is just about the same, and even the One X runs at about a 25-30, and then in heavily populated areas, drops and freezes for literal minutes at a time, if it doesn't just crash outright. This is beyond unacceptable. No one in their right mind should have released a game in this condition on last-gen consoles. It vaguely reminds me of Dragon Age Inquisition on the PS3, for anybody who tried to play it on that platform. They know exactly what I'm talking about. And overall, last-gen console versions of the game was fuzzy, blurry, glitchy, mess-filled, and had more bugs than a hoarder house. It was awful. Aside from that, though, the game doesn't really look like what we were promised, even for those with the systems to handle it. I mean, I said in part 1 that it looks good, and the game definitely is stunning when the system's not about to catch fucking fire. But we were promised more. We were showed more, which leads me to my next beef with the game. There is a lot Like, a lot. So, in rapid succession, allow me to list a few. There is no third-person cutscenes after the intro and before the end. Wall running is not in the game. Brain dance is outside mission relevancy. Like, you can buy them and have the headset, but you can't do shit with them. There's even dialogue at the clubs explaining how to initiate them, and it doesn't even matter. Why? World interactions beyond quest lines and side missions. More romance options. NPC life cycles. Seriously, they are the dullest, most boring NPCs I have ever met and are akin to static MMO NPCs basically just to fill spaces and not add life. GTA did it way better. Shit, Oblivion did it better. They are basically procedurally generated templates with color variations that wander around aimlessly and despawn when out of range. They serve zero purpose, and as a guy who's beaten the game 4 times now, I have never once even bothered to do anything with the generic NPCs, because, spoilers, there's nothing to fucking do with them. Everything with vehicles that was promised, aside from driving, if you could even call it that, and purchasing was cut out. Vehicle damage and destruction, basically non-existent. Your shit just blows up after a minute. Customization? No. Hell, the game doesn't even require those things. Like, they give you essentially one of the fastest bikes in the game, and easily one of the only ones that has any decent handling, right after the fucking introduction, for free. 3 playthroughs in is when I bought my first vehicle besides Jack's Arch, and surprise, it sucked. Every vehicle that I stole also sucked. Slow and slippery gives me cancer, as my dad once said. Not sure why. Vehicles don't even serve a purpose after a while. So many goddamn fast travel markers that you don't even need a vehicle, like just teleport everywhere. The entire police system is a joke. They aren't even relevant to the game. They were supposed to be this bounty system, and the police would show up on the scene of the crime in real time, hunch you, and you could actively run from the law, and it would make your gameplay significantly different because you'd have to hide from the police at the same time you were completing missions. Instead, what we got was magic, near unbeatable kill squads that show up behind you for immersive rendering, and blast your ass in the next week for minor offenses like bumping into an NPC, yet nothing happens to them when they hit me with their fucking car 50 times.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
And the world is hollow as hell. Like, aside from the side missions, which are poorly integrated since, V is supposed to be racing against the clock, I don't know why he would even bother with some fucking BS mission about some random person's affair, or a drug bust for the cops. Like, it's the same issue everyone had with Fallout 4. The side missions do not make sense in the context of the main story's urgency. And beyond that, there's just not much to do. You go to reported crime sites, kill people, occasional jobs pop up and you do them. They make you feel all good and fancy inside, and then there's the main story. But besides that, the world just feels hollow. Like, I loved walking around Skyrim and Fallout and seeing the world and looking at the context clues. But Night City looks good, but it's hollow. There's not really much happening outside of the missions. It just, there's nothing there. It's very superficial in terms of world building, and it's kind of a letdown. There's a lot more here, but there isn't enough time for me to talk about it all, and honestly, it just seems like the game got stuck between trying to be a unique RPG and a GTA-style game, and they couldn't decide and just tried to do features from both and then fucked it up. So, I don't know, get it together. A handful of other issues I have things with are like the cybernetic systems, the game's fucking staple mechanic. You drew people into the game with the idea that we could augment our characters into cybernetic badasses. But only the 4 arm modifications alter your appearance whatsoever. Like, what the fuck is the point of being a cybernetically enhanced merc if we look less augmented than the fucking Joy Toys on Jig Jig Street? Like, it's a staple mechanic. The basic NPCs that I hate so much get better customization than us. And that extends to the clothing too. There's like a dozen outfits to choose from, and then they took those outfits and slammed them with 100 different color schemes. But if you're going to have 12 outfits look awful to begin with, making it gonorrhea green or Jojo Siwa fucking pink isn't going to make it look better. Again, goddamn fucking NPCs have better clothes than me. What happened to my personalized experience? You took the personalized bit out and replaced it with anal leakage. Also, while we're here, why can you not edit appearances? We have a game where you can literally cut off limbs and replace them with cybernetics, apparently replace whole organ systems and shit, with zero scarring to your character or physical indications of the titanium skin you have, but barbers and plastic surgeons were too much to ask for. Fuck you. So CD Projekt Red, in fact, did apologize and offer refunds to the player base.
And despite good reviews on PC, the console version of CyberPunk 2077 did not meet the quality standard we wanted it to meet.
Their apology was more genuine than, say, that of, EA for the 50 fucking times they've screwed up, but still, it was riddled with corporate doublespeak, failed to take real responsibility for the fact that they somehow managed to fuck up a game with 10 years in development, despite Ubisoft managing to churn out a new Assassin's Creed year after year with fewer bugs, save Unity, but fuck that mess. The point is that they had the time, the resources, and the ability, and they instead made promises they could not keep, hyped a game they knew was not ready, was unable to keep their contracts with the publishers, and just screwed up. But the thing is I do believe that they will fix the mess. DLC, patches, and hotfix are coming regularly, and slowly but surely they are making the game playable and better. The hope is that they've learned their lesson and in the future will not screw up like this, and I have faith that the guys who brought us games like The Witcher will learn from this and move forward in a positive way. Now, like I said, I have a lot of beefs with the game, but as I said in part 1, I do like it. Enough that I had 4 playthroughs. I just felt kind of cheapened by the experience. The reality is that if we hadn't been promised what we were promised, if we hadn't been shown what we were shown, and the game had functioned as we were told it was going to be, it could have been great. Instead, we were belted to the seat of mediocrity and being labeled as okay, and that's unfortunate for everybody, developer and consumer. But that's going to wrap it up. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, my dear friends. Use your powers for good instead of evil. Make a difference in someone's life. And blenders do not make good marital aids, even on JJ Street. Catch you in the next one.